Welcome to the Spiritist Society of Melbourne. We are a group of Spiritists who study spiritualist philosophy, which calls Spiritism, and come every Tuesday's night to share our understanding about specific topics by the Spiritism perspective. As the topic, be happy. So tonight I'll be sharing my point of view about this in regards to happiness in general, but based on my knowledge of Spiritism. So I'm still a student of this philosophy, and what I'll be saying here is not, it's my own opinion, it's not what the Spiritist Society of Melbourne thinks or what its own opinion, and even of other members of this group. So my name is Thiago Cometre and I'm a volunteer of the Spiritist group. Are you happy or not? How often do you make this question to yourself? If you don't, I would recommend you doing this question very often then. What is happiness? When I made some research on the internet to try to think this, to find an answer for this question, to help me to find an answer for this question. And I just discovered other questions, like, it seems like an odd question, but is it? Do you know how to define happiness? Do you think happiness is the same thing to you as it is to others? What's the point of it all? Does it even make a difference in our lives? Definitely does. So my presentation will be based on this book, Changing Attitudes, which was written by a Brazilian medium and writer, which calls Francisco do Espírito Santo, and the content of this book was dictated by the Spirit Hamad. So let's start then. Is the Earth the unique place in the universe for the human beings? I don't think so. We live right here in the Milky Way, which is the galaxy where our planetary solar system belongs to. So this is just one among millions and millions of galaxies across the infinite universe. So we are in that point that we can even, that dot that we cannot see. But just imagine that human beings could live only that place. We're not privileged. Also thinking that we have this life to go through only, just this life, does not make sense to me. Because what's the meaning of everything? What's the meaning of this infinite universe out there? Right? So we was born, we go to school, we go to the uni, start working, make family, make money, a lot of money, and got kids, have family, and yeah, the end is the same for everyone. We all will pass away. So what's the meaning? That's why I just stated that for me, this unique life, being a unique life, doesn't make sense as well. And think of happiness. Can we achieve the highest point of happiness in this life? I mean, I'm happy. I cannot be more happy than I am now. Can we achieve that highest point only considering this life? I don't think so either. Imagine that a child and their parents just got a conflict, or they just got some problems, and they spend their entire life not talking to each other or with problems. They can't even communicate. They can't even see each other in the eyes. So one day, one of them will pass away, and what's the feeling of them? They will never achieve this highest point of happiness if you just consider that the current life is just the unique that exists. That's my point of view. Okay, you might be wondering, what's the connection of this Earth, a unique place of human beings, and the galaxies and the universe with happiness? So, as I said about the current life, saying being a single life, Spiritism just explain us, not explain, but brings up the concept of reincarnation. And that helps me to open my mind to see a big picture. So, for me, there is something beyond life and out there in this universe. And that started making sense for me, that things didn't started here and even will not stop here when you die. The concept of reincarnation helps me to understand that there is something beyond, and then I can see that, oh, maybe this is just a passage that is everyone is going through. And what happened then? Let's see. The Spiritism just tells us in a summary that we are individuals with the main objective of progressing spiritually, and at the same time be conscious that the happy or unhappy moments of our lives are the direct result of our attitudes throughout our path. Which path? So this life or this passage. So let's see. Let's explore a little bit more this paragraph. So be conscious that the happy and unhappy moments of our lives are the direct result of our attitudes. As I said, that kid, that child with their parents, father or mother, they got a conflict and attitude, and they just had a bad relationship through years. For years they are going through that problem. What happened with their happiness? They are still feeling that. But if you think that we are just individuals with the main objective of progressing, hang on, what does it mean? We probably was not created in the existing life. We was probably created before or some point in the time. So Spiritism reveals us that this being that we are spirits. Spirits are intelligence in the universe and inhabit the invisible world, which is the entire infinite universe. But to progress spiritually, as it says here, we need to incarnate. we need to come in this material body, corporeal world, where we will experience situations, we'll go through difficulties, hardships of life to understand how to handle those situations with people, with other spirits that is also progressing. That child that had problems with their parents or with their father, mother, or whatever, they have some situation to solve. And all the attitudes that we have will make us to feel, to have contact with our emotions, and that will help us with the development of this happiness. So to be happy depends only on us. Why? This individual that I said, the spirit that was created in the past, and we are just coming to life from the spiritual world, we're coming to life on earth, let's say, is our world, and we go through with different experiences. Each one has different experiences. I'm going through my own problems, my own difficulties. We could be easier for someone else, but someone else's problems and difficulties could be easier for me. Different experience, different rational decisions, because I can handle that in a different way because of my background. When I say my background, I say the background of my spirit, my soul. In Spiritism, soul and spirit is pretty much the same. But when we are incarnated, we call that soul because we are in the body. So this progressing is individual, because this individuality is what remains after death. That's what this philosophy explains to us. When we die, actually, it's just the matter. It's just our body, organic body, that just die because it ceased life. There is a lifespan like animals and plants. And then our spirit come back to the invisible world, and we just continue our real life there. But with all the experience that we have passed through. So we can assume with this reincarnation concept that we are not who we think we are. We are actually a product of many existences, many experiences. Let's continue here. To be happy is not the circumstance of being alone or accompanied by others, but a behavior attitude over the tasks that we come to perform throughout this existence. What are you doing with your life? Are you spending your time fighting with someone else? Trying to have the reason in our discussion? Or are you just experiencing and trying to understand others and take the better of that for yourself? So our mistake begins when we watch over for the other people and protect them, instead of controlling our decisions and the direction of our path. We are not responsible for someone else's happiness. We do have to administer, drive, and conduct our own steps. Of course, we contribute with someone else's happiness. But remember, the path is individual. You are responsible for your progression. You need to progress Why? Spiritism says that we was created simple and ignorant to achieve perfection. So we progress towards perfection. It doesn't mean that we'll reach perfection, but we walk through in that direction. So we need to drive our lives. We need to drive our evolution. Of course, helping others all whenever we can. Okay? And keep in mind that we are responsible for our happiness, not someone else. You cannot make a choice, make a decision on behalf of someone else for their life. We are all the time dreaming, imagining castles in the air, perfect relationships, perfect body shape, successful career. Then, what do? We invest our happiness and spend our time, which is already really short, on work, diet, relationships, relationships full of colorful expectations, and most of them don't return as we would like it to be. So what happened with our happiness then? Again, our attitudes. What are we doing to make ourselves happier each day? How is your happiness today? No one can make us happy or unhappy. Only ourselves are responsible for our destination. So we cannot forget about ourselves. Success or failure are subproducts of our constructive or destructive attitudes. Then, we should think of self-improvement or inner transformation. If based on my attitudes, that moment could be happy or unhappy, we should look inside and start thinking what I'm doing with myself. Keep in mind the progression that we are going through. We need to know ourselves to improve. And doing this work, accepting ourselves, our difficulties, and identifying where we can improve in ourselves, our attitudes, it will make us happy. It will make us a better person, a better friend, a better colleague at work, a better father, mother, child, or parent. And with that in mind, when we understand that, we can accept others the same way, like understand that, oh, this person is also like me, a human being progressing towards perfection, is an intelligent being that has their own problems, difficulties. I don't know what's going on in his mind. We don't have the power of reading that yet, right? So, how can I help? You can help helping yourself first, making yourself better, making yourself happier. That will reflect to others because others will see, oh, what's going on with that person? That person is different, is changing. He's changing their attitudes. He used to act differently, and then that will be naturally noted by others. But the most important is, how is your mind? How is yourself with your happiness, with your progress? So the destiny of the human beings is to be happy at the apex of the meaning of the world. So truly and fully happy. and we are still evolving, because we will not achieve that in this world. Remember that I mentioned uh, we are spirits evolving, and the earth could be not the unique place for human beings. Then reincarnation come and explain us that uh, you are not who you think you are. You are a product of many existences, and that could be here on earth or in any other world, any other planet. Look out there, the size of this universe. They even didn't discover much, just a little bit, which is nothing if you compare with the infinite. So, for me, definitely not at this world. We will be achieving the apex of the meaning of happiness. So, is there any formula to be happy or to make this process easier? I don't think so. There is no formula for happiness. We need to be conscious of how we perceive the life, not how we perceive our life, not how others perceive their lives or how others perceive life in general. Because what is important is yourself with yourself, not being selfish and even egotistical, but is more to keep in mind that the path is individual and no one will make decisions for your happiness. Then you are responsible for that. Also, on the other hand, you are not responsible for someone else's happiness. So you can't give an advice if someone else asks you to do. Otherwise, we are not contributing. You know what I mean? So their work is individual. Each person has their own and single way of being happy. As I've said before, we should accept that each human being has their own point of view, which is also valid. Something is cool, is right for you, but someone else, that could be different. They have a different moral knowledge that they have built throughout his life. So we should just accept that people are different. They are intelligent and they have their own moral knowledge and their own background. But the other's happiness become our happiness as well when we be conscious of the real life. When we just realize that, oh, that could be true. And if this is not the real life, and we are just coming here, go through a passage, and there is something beyond, something bigger that makes more sense. When we pass away, we will go to where? That everyone comes from the same place. Everyone is going through problems, difficulties to progress toward perfection. It's very easy to blame on a spouse, a friend, or a situation due to the dissatisfaction of our soul, isn't it? So you have a discussion with your brother or with your sister, and you was pretty sure that you was with the reason, and then you just stop talking and wait them to apologize yourself. But you have your part, your percentage on that as guilty, right? And what are you doing for that? Are you going then and say sorry and apologize? At least make a reflection, or are you still in your mind, no, I'm right, he just made that because I don't know. But stop, think on yourself, be happy. Why are you wasting your time? So we think that if the other people could behave according to our plans and objective, everything would be perfect. So that's selfishness, isn't it? So we should not forget that the destiny is the same for everyone, but the path is individual. So how should we handle this? Let's say we have 80 years to live in this passage here on earth until we die and start again somewhere. But everyone is going through the same way, and everyone has their own difficulties, hardships, and how to contribute with that. Kindness, understanding, caring, consideration, empathy. Empathy is another key. So that will make life easier. And don't think that life will be always easy, because when you just win with a problem, it's like when you're playing a video game. You got a next level a bit harder. That is good for your evolution. Just accept and be thankful about that, because that's to help you to progress. Why all this progress? Why all of this? We don't know. And even in this philosophy, the Spirit say that we are not able to understand that if they could be explain us. So we just need to understand that there is a reason for that. Everything has a reason to be. And then we should work on ourselves, work to be a better person, to progress in this journey of life. So what Spiritism gave us, this philosophy, propose a change of perspective for us to use other lens to analyze the situation, to improve ourselves for something bigger. That's the message. That's what I would like to share with everyone tonight. Hope everyone will make a reflection about what I've said. And thank you very much for joining tonight.